Well, I guess all good things must come to an end. Hello, hello. This is the last vlog you'll be getting for probably a while on Films from the Supermassive Black Hole, as it's the last vlog I'll be doing for the Sundance 2012 Film Festival. Just briefly before I go into, stuff about the festival as a whole, I'm just going to touch on what I did today. Today I saw two movies. I saw Sleepwalk with Me and The Words. You can just read the reviews down there, but I thought Sleepwalk with Me was the better one. The Words, even though it boasted an incredibly talented cast, didn't really do enough with its premise. It didn't do enough new, and at the end there's like this big twist that I saw coming from the very first second of the movie. I was actually quite disappointed with The Words. The only aspect of it that I wasn't disappointed with was Jeremy Irons. That man can act the shit out of anything, and he acts the shit out of The Words. His role and his scenes are the only reason the movie is worth watching. Sleepwalk with Me, on the other hand, was very funny and mildly touching, not as, emotionally resonant as any of the documentaries I saw, or even as much as Celeste and Jesse Forever, or something like that. But yeah, it was very funny. The cast all have great comic timing, and the director, Mike Birbiglia, is real comedic talent, and I'm very interested to see where he goes with film later. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to just briefly touch on all that Sundance had to offer us, and me and you, because you've been experiencing this with me, in 2012. So let's see. I saw probably around, and I'm probably going to get my figures wrong here, around 16 movies and one live performance. And I think I did a pretty good job with picking my movies. I didn't really see a movie that I outright hated. I saw, a couple duds. I thought Mosquita y Marie and The Words were probably my two least favorite movies in it. Though they both had admirable qualities, I'm not going to lie. They both were, both were solid efforts. But, Mosquita y Marie was just too cliche and didn't do anything surprising in The Words. Was only saved by Jeremy Irons. But in general, I think I did a really good job picking my movies. I enjoyed most of the movies I saw. Some of them I absolutely outright loved. So let's just get into it. So the best performance, I would have to say, goes to Robert Carlyle for California Solo. This guy, I think this movie could potentially be his Crazy Heart. Or his Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, the movie that really just shows him for the actor that he is, the caliber of actor that he is, and finally gets him, the recognition that he's been deserving for all these years. The runner-up, I think it's a toss-up between Jeremy Irons in The Words, because he's that good, and Robert De Niro in Red Lights, because he's also just that good. Best director, I have to give it to Rodrigo Cortés for Red Lights. The way he just rackets up the tension, keeps you on the edge of your seat. His impeccable use of sound, the way he positions his shots, it's all just so well done. So well done. Second best, the runner-up I think would have to be either Amy Berg for West of Memphis, or Lee Toland Krieger for Celeste and Jesse Forever. Best documentary, that's easy. It's The Invisible War. In case you've been wondering, this dog tag is something I got at that movie. It has the site www.invisiblewarmovie.com. If you haven't gone to it, if you haven't signed the petition, turn off this video, go do it right now, and come back, because it's something that needs to be done. The movie is really, really incredible, and really, really just, it's just infuriating the way it presents its case, and everything that it presents is just, it just makes you want to go out and change absolutely everything about our military, especially the way it handles sexual assaults and rapes in it. Yeah, it was definitely the best documentary I saw, and the runner-up is West of Memphis. The way it styled itself and had the feel of like a detective thriller while presenting, startling new evidence that completely exonerates the West Memphis Three. I really hope with both these documentaries that serious change about their topics is brought about. I hope with The Invisible War that enough people see it and enough people sign the petition and speak out against rapes in the military that we finally get something to change that. And I hope with West of Memphis that the new evidence that was presented helps to fully exonerate those three. Coolest moment? Well, that's easy. It's the moment I was called up for at Hit Record and had a pseudo conversation with Jogo. Okay, I mean, yes, I did kind of embarrass myself, and if you watch the video down there and skipped ahead to where I told you to, you see I was nervous as fuck, but it was just so cool. And then, even cooler, at the very end, I slipped him my business card, and he pocketed it. I have no idea whether or not he'll visit the site at all, or see how much I kind of creepily worship him, but, I mean, you can't top that. Second coolest moment would be when Paul Giamatti and the entire cast and crew of John Dies at the End came down and hung out with the waitlist people for a little bit. That was really cool. Best Q&A, I would have to give it to The Invisible War, even though I didn't film it, because it just really, really expanded upon the themes of the movie and the heartbreak that every single person who was subjected to that was feeling, and it was just a really touching moment when they called the survivors down and everybody stood up for a standing ovation. It was really well done. The second best Q&A, I probably have to give it to the Q&A for John Dies at the End, because it was easily the most amusing Q&A. Everyone was it was just a great time, and yeah. Best dramatic will go to Red Lights. That was just an awesome movie experience. It was tense. It was fun. It was exciting. It was scary. It was touching in little ways. And even though it does go a little bit off the rails in the last 5 minutes, the rest of the movie can not be faulted for that. It's just a great experience. The acting's great. The direction is great. See that movie. Runner-up would probably have to be Celeste and Jesse Forever. That was just a really, really well done comedy. With solid dramatic chops as well, kind of in the vein of 500 Days of Summer or High Fidelity, two of my favorites. And now the big one. Best film. Now, normally that's kind of a hard question to think about, but for me, this festival, at least, it's easy. It's The Invisible War. That was just... I came out of that movie... it affected me. It affected me the most out of any movie I saw. And even though, if I'm going by best film in general, Red Lights does give it strong competition. The Invisible War wins out because it just affected me the most, and it's a movie that just needs to be seen and the subject needs to be heard about and talked about, and the problem needs to be attended to. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. This was a really, really, really cool experience. I am so thrilled that I didn't have school at this time for the first time ever, and I could finally come up here and experience Sundance for real. Not just a weekend where I go see 2 movies, ski for one of the days. No, the real thing, experiencing everything, riding the bus and talking with people, standing in waitlist lines for ungodly hours and ungodly amounts of time. Meeting people in the industry, talking about interesting things, talking about what they were seeing, what I was seeing, what they thought was good, what I thought was good, and vice versa. Pimping myself out. I handed out probably a good 40 business cards, and hopefully that brings new traffic my way. I've already gotten some hints of new traffic, and then my YouTube videos, especially the Q&As for movies that were really popular, like John Dies at the End, or Tim and Eric, or Celeste and Jesse Forever, they've gotten hits as well, and comments. So, what I set out to do, I set out to well, A, meet Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so that was a great success, and then B, advertise myself and gain traction for my blog, and I think I did a good job at that too. But then, the main point is I just came here to see a lot of great movies and to write about a lot of great movies and to talk about a lot of great movies. And in that sense, this was a 100% success, and I cannot wait to do it again next year, provided the world doesn't end. Well, that's all for Sundance 2012 here at Films from the Supermassive Black Hole. Thank you for joining me. Any and all comments are appreciated. Any and all feedback is even more appreciated. And yes, that will be all. You may return to your daily duties. Au revoir.